Hi. You probably saw this title and thought to yourself, why is this girl thinking about a movie that came out in 2017? And I'm here to tell you, I have no idea. That's just how my brain works. I was just sitting in my room one day and then out of my brain just thought, hey, this probably could have helped make Ghost in the Shell way better. For no reason. I wasn't watching anything related to Ghost in the Shell. I wasn't watching anything related to Scarlett Johansson. I wasn't watching anything anime related. It just popped up in my brain. What can I say? So, this is the video. This is the video of me basically saying what I think they should have done to make the movie better. Now, I want to preface that the whole critique and conversation about the fact that they did whitewash this movie, I'm not trying to take away from that validity. I'm not trying to wash away that wash. Those are completely valid, and I'm not trying to take away from that. I'm just focusing on the movie. Sorry, I had to stop filming, and I am gonna be honest, I don't remember what I said. But anyways, this video isn't meant to take away those valid criticism. That's not the point of this video. I just kind of thought, well, how would I make this movie better? And by better, I mean I have no experience in filmmaking, storytelling, directing. I just critique movies based on things that I'm like, did I like them? Did it look pretty? So that should tell you enough about my criteria. Did not go to film school, so let's go with that. Okay, so like I said, I don't know any of the source material. I did not know that this was based on a manga that, or I honestly thought it was a movie that it was based on, but apparently it's a manga. It could be both, I don't know. I had no idea. Now, the whole fact of the reason why from my understanding, is that they casted Scarlett Johansson because they were gonna make is it a cybernetic company? I don't remember, but it's it's a robotic Hanka Robotics, but for counterterrorism. Blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, what I was so confused is I thought that the reason why Scarlett Johansson was a Caucasian, obviously cast in this, is because the fact that the company was American, so obviously they would make their cybernetics or robots or androids or whatever, I don't know the terminology, also Western or Caucasian because of that. So that's what I thought, but they didn't really leave it clear in the movie. So I was like, because obviously they want to bring a big name actress to bring in views, but if you just bring in an actress without establishing why, they did hint at it near the end where you meet Motoko's mom, and for some reason Motoko's mom can just kind of know that it's her, and it's very confusing because it's how did you know? Just because it's a random white woman comes and talks about your daughter, why would you think it's your daughter? I was very confused about that. But here's what I would have done to make everything make more sense, and both have Scarlett Johansson and showcase that Western need to colonize things. I feel it would have been such a good underlining criticism of Western, or how do I put this in words? I can say it in my brain, but I can't say it out loud. Kind of a criticism on colonization, basically. Oh, here comes, company full of Caucasian men, and they overtook these people, what was his name? Kuze, because they're radicals, or anti-augmentation radicals, and they're obviously Japanese, and they basically experimented on them, and then they put their essence or their consciousness into white people's or Caucasians' bodies. Does this make sense? I have no idea. Maybe sometimes I talk and I think that I do make sense, but then I'm like, am I just making sense in my brain? Back to it. Now, I feel they would have really benefited if they would have hired another actress to play Motoko, an actual Japanese, or primarily Japanese, but an Asian actress that looked like Motoko in the manga or movie that I thought it was based off of. And personally for me, I think that could have been Karen Fukuhara or Rinko Kikuchi. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your last name or their names, because I don't know. I don't um I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know like the right pronunciation, because every language has a different pronunciation, like the letters. So I'm so sorry if I mispronounced their name. I feel like those two, just because like I looked up pictures of Motoko, and I was like, these two kind of look like her. So they should have done is like at the beginning. I remember. By the way, I did not rewatch this movie. I'm going off of what's in my brain, so that should tell you enough. And I also have the Wikipedia article open. So I feel like they should have had Scarlett Johansson at the beginning, like wake up, do all that jazz. But then they should have had her like looking into the mirror. The thing is, yes, we've shown that she sees like flashes of old memory of like a burning building, but it's like, what does that give? That gives no context. And she doesn't really go looking for it ever until like the end, and she doesn't even look for that. Like it was just like useless. They should have made it so basically like this, right? So she wakes up, she's in her tiny apartment, she's looking in the mirror, and she's having these moments of like not knowing if she's fully herself. And in the mirror, either Rinko or Karen, whichever actress appears and is basically telling her you're not real, and her like having these like kind of like I don't remember if she dreams or not, but having like those memories kind of bleeding through, and having her actual like conscious fighting herself kind of way. And then you would see her always seeing like her actual like body of Motoko, not Mira Killian, not Scarlett Johansson. And then you have her like walking down the street in the mirror. It's when she looks, she sees Motoko, and then she kind of looks back, and she's kind of like keeping this under wraps, but she's seeing her more and more, and having this like conversation of like, I am real, this is me, like what do you like, and then it would have made more sense when she went to visit her mom, because you can have this like her actual self bleeding in, because even though she's augmented and she's been like completely changed physically and probably in her brain, because they probably erased and did who knows what to her memories, you could have had flashbacks of actual Motoko and Kuze she like being in a meeting planning their like anti-augmentation radicals, whatever they do in their free time. And you could have had like, it would have been cool if they had shown like if Motoko had like a not like a tick, but like something that she does often, like oh she always does this, or like like something that is a gesture that she just kind of is like recurring, something that like she does to like calm down, or just like a force of habit. And so you could have done it that since Scarlett Johansson is very robotic, because obviously she's I don't remember, what is she like what is she? Oh yeah, she's like she's an artificial shell. She's an AI, whatever. But sorry, my brain. My brain is like this. Oh my god, I completely forgot. Oh yeah, so let's say she has like something that she always does, like I don't know, like this, like something, something that is true to Motoko. And then when you have Scarlett going visiting her mom, like her actual mom, like since she's been having these moments with Motoko, and like looking at her in the mirror, or seeing her in a memory, or seeing her in a flashback, and then you not a flashback, but like when she saw like the burning, like in the like the burning, what is it, was it a temple or just a building? I don't remember. But yeah, anyways, irrelevant. Well, not irrelevant, but it's not necessary to what I'm talking about. And then you have her bleeding through, like, the real, because then, yeah, and then you have her bleeding through, and then when you have Scarlett meeting up her mom, and then when you have Scarlett meeting up with Motoko's mom, her own mom, she starts doing the same habit that she did when she was Motoko, and then you have the mom being like, oh, this is Motoko, right? And then when she meets up with Kuze, they have this moment where you actually also hire a Japanese male actor. You hire him to play Kuze in the moment where they meet each other and see each other, and they recognize each other, and they know who they are. It's not Scarlett, and I don't remember who was Kuze. Who played Kuze? Michael Carmen Pitt. You have an actual Japanese actor, and you have them talking to each other, and the whole scene plays out as those two actors, not Scarlett and Michael, but be it Karen or Rinko and this man actor. I'm sorry, I did not look up male Japanese actors. And then when, you know, they're gonna get shot at and she has to fight, then it switches back to Scarlet and blah blah. And then near the end, where you see her finally kind of accept that she is, you know, this new role and that she's gonna keep, you know, whatever. And then when she meets up with her mom, it would be like this: Scarlet walking, she sees her mom, and then it switches to Rinko or Karen, and then it's Rinko Karen who's hugging her actual mom. And then when it's back to Scarlet on top of the building, she's like, Rinko Karen Motoko is standing beside her, and so it's kind of like, you know, like bridging both and giving a very obviously there'd be more dialogue. I just talked about scenes that they could implement, but I feel like if they gave more dialogue on like how her, like Motoko being like, why would you, like, they took my body away, they changed me, like, why, like, it could have been way more in-depth criticism, and it just wasn't. And so obviously people were like, wow, this is really whitewashed. What the heck? Really whitewashed. And I'm like, yeah, I can see why. I feel like if they would have just added this extra things and added more characters that were actually Japanese, it would have made the difference. Of course, if they added more dialogue, making like the villain explain why, they had offered more dialogue centered on why the villain decided to only hire or only have Caucasian people in Japan, being like, oh, you know, like it could have been like, you know, like, but it wasn't. It was just kind of like, yeah, we have like a bunch of people with Japanese names and they're all Caucasian, they don't speak Japanese. Because the thing is, if they spoke Japanese, I would have been like, okay, but they don't. Anyways, don't forget that this video isn't me trying to take away the valid criticism of whitewashing. It's just like, I feel like if they would have added certain elements, if they would have added certain dialogues, they could have had a different, like, subtle, very, like, underneath undertone of a criticism that the movie was making, you know, of Western culture overtaking things. It would have been so cool. Plus, I personally like Karen and Rinko. They're really cool. Why do I keep pronouncing her name like like with a Spanish inflection? Because they're really great actresses. I've seen them like in Karen. She is in Suicide Squad, and The Boys, and Rinko, Pacific Rim, and I absolutely loved her. We do not talk about Pacific Rim 2. They did her character dirty, and I hate that movie because of it. So yeah, this was just me wanting to fix Ghost in the Shell, and I feel like if they would have incorporated this, they would have fixed it. AKA, next time, hire me movies. I'm kidding. Next time, maybe listen to the Japanese audience being like, hey, this isn't the greatest thing. And the fact that they're like, well, we just need a big Western actor. Like, there's a lot of Japanese. And if you just didn't, like, we can even encompass it to bigger, like, Asian actors that could have brought in, like, a lot of people, like, level Scarlett Johansson, you know? So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Was there a purpose to this video? No, there wasn't. I just wanted to make it, so